Shalom, Yasha'Allah, Shalom, Shalom. Call Allah Yahweh. By Shema Mashiach, with Malak Yahushai. Barak HaKadosh. Atazawan, Kabal, Kabayim, Esquayim, Wa, Kwam Yasha'Allah, Ahabatam, Akyam, Wa Agwa. Hey man, we back at it with another video. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Through the mercies of the Most High, I want to go through this lesson and show y'all that it's lessons that we can learn from nature, you know what I'm saying? And specifically today, I want to talk about trees, you know what I'm saying? I want to talk about trees, and I want to talk about like bodies of water and seas and nations and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Lord willing, brothers and sisters, is edified through this breakdown, you know what I'm saying? But let's get straight to it. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel. All right, so let's go to these precepts about how men or nations are trees. So the Lord has parables, allegories, and similitudes. So that's like saying, you know, brothers, I say this all the time. If you learn, you'll say, hey, boom, I'm hungry as a horse. I'm not literally a horse, but this horse is describing how hungry I am. Or let's get a better one. Like you say something and nobody knows what you're talking about, and you say, what, you live under a rock? When you say something like that, if you literally live under a rock, you just don't know what's going on, type of thing. You know what I'm saying? And when the Most High uses these similitudes like this, it makes 100%. Like it's 100%. Like it's like if the Most High said you like a damn beast, you should be looking up the anatomy of beast and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna make 100% sense. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna directly correlate. So let's touch on these trees and stuff, right? So let's get this first precept in in Ezekiel chapter 17. Ezekiel 17 is 22. It says, thus saith the Lord God, I will also take of the highest branch of the cedar and will set it. I will crop off from the top of his young twigs a tender one. It says, and will plant it upon a high mountain and eminent. So a cedar tree, generally speaking, they all have a highest high. They have like a tip of the tree. I'm actually driving past a cedar tree right now. I wish I could show y'all, but a cedar tree always has like a highest high. It has a highest leaf. You understand? All of the cedar trees have that. You have multiple kinds of cedar trees. You know what I'm saying? As I'm showing you right now, right? But all of these cedar trees they come up to like a point, or it has one leaf that's just sitting at the top. You understand? So the Lord, that's what he's talking about right here, right? So let's read on to get the context in verse number 23. So Ezekiel 17 and 23, it says, in the mountain of the highest of Israel will I plant, and it shall bring forth boughs and bear fruit. Right? It shall bring forth boughs and bear fruit. It says, and be a goodly cedar, and under under it shall dwell all fowl of every wing, in the shadow of the branches thereof shall they dwell. And you know, brothers and sisters, y'all know about bearing fruit, right? The Lord said you should know men by their fruits. You understand? So as a tree, you should be bringing forth good works. That's what this is going into, right? And good works isn't negativity. Good works is not constantly dwelling in depression and you can't get nothing done. You set your schedules, you can't hit your goals. These things is not good fruit. And at the end of the day, we got to check ourselves, man. That's why I love this truth so damn much, because it enables you to be your best self. It enables you to actually reach your goals, man. It enables you to actually grow because you're set to a standard, right? As a tree, if you're not hitting your goals, if you're not growing, if you're constantly being negative, if you can't get over these certain spirits, you have to come to these precepts and understand, like, damn, what if I was a tree? The one moment some rain drop, the one moment that one thunderstorm come, that one first thunderstorm come, it is not even that bad. Guess what? I'm in the middle of the damn highway, right? I'm in the middle of the damn highway. Somebody about to come pick me up and chop me up and cast me into utter darkness. You know what I'm saying? That's how it goes, man. That's how it goes with your spirit and your physical body. Now, I mean, in this breakdown, we're gonna be touching on being a tree carnally and being a tree physically. You know what I'm saying? All of that. You know what I'm saying? So let's read on. And Ezekiel 17 to 23, right? It says, right, we read that. Let's read on. Verse 24. it says, and all the trees of the field, it says, Salaki, it says, all the trees of the field shall know that I, the Lord, have brought down the high tree and exalted the low tree. So, again, real quick, let's clarify. This isn't talking about actual trees, right? This isn't talking about actual trees. You know what I'm saying? Trees don't have a mindset to know who the Lord is. Even though the trees do understand the Lord, you know what I'm saying? Because they need the Lord to photosynthesize and grow and know when to, you know what I'm saying? The Lord has the leaves change the colors and all that other stuff. We understand that. But this is talking about men, right? And it says, It says, have exalted the low tree. And as a nation, we the low tree, right? As a person, we the low tree, right? We're all of us in this truth low down, wicked, nasty, man. All of us are, man. You understand that? Because of the ways that we were raised and because of the captivity and stuff that we're coming out of. That's how it goes in this thing, right? So we exalted the low tree, right? It says, have dried up the green tree and have made the dry tree to flourish. I, the Lord, have spoken and have done it. By Shema Mashiach Yahushua. Meaning, like, hey, we might be low right now, but like that's what the Most High is looking for. You know what I'm saying? The Most High is looking to pull you out the dust. The Most High is looking to pull you from your lowest estate. To pull you from your lowest estate. So when you fall, or you going through it, or you're not feeling well spiritually, physically, or when you just not feeling it, man, you out the spirit, you feel like you just can't get it done. Guess what? That's when the Most High is looking at you. That's when the Most High is really looking for you, man. Because he wants to exalt you from being low and bring you back up to that high mountain, right? To be that high cedar tree, right? Let's get a couple more precepts on just trees real fast. Let's go to Mark. Let's go to Mark 8 and 24. Right, I want to get a couple more precepts on this. And then I want to go to this article I want to get into. This is the book of Mark, chapter 8. I want to read verse 24. And this is the article that I want to get to, right? We're going to dig into this, right? It's from the USDA Forest Service, right? This is a credible source. But this is to go to the book of Mark, right? Slaki, right? Okay, boom. So let's go to the book of Mark, chapter 8, and verse number 24. It says, and let's get the context. Mark 8 and let's start at verse 17. It says, when Yahushua knew it, right? Salakia. It says, and when Yahushua knew it, he said unto them, why reason ye, because ye have no bread? Perceive ye not, neither understand? Have ye your heart, Salakia, my bad. It says, have ye your heart yet hardened? All right, so is your heart hardened that y'all don't have no bread? Right, let's read on because he gonna break it down. It says, having eyes see ye not, right? Having eyes see ye not, going into having little faith. It says, and having ears hear ye not, and do ye not remember? When I break the 5 loaves among 5,000, how many baskets full of fragments took ye up? It says, they say unto him 12. Right. So lucky, give me 1 second. Right, they say to him 12. Right, let's read on. It says, and when the 7 among 4,000, how many baskets full of fragments took ye up? And they said 7. And he said unto them, how is it that ye do not understand? And he come to Bethesda, and they bring a blind man unto him, and besought him to touch him. And he took the blind man, and by the hand, and led him out of the town. And when he spit on his eyes, he put his hands upon him. He asked if he saw aught. He looked up and said, I see men as trees walking. I see men as trees, man. And that's a cut to thinking that the Bible is full of white people, man. Trees are brown. I don't know what earth you live on. Last time I looked, trees are goddamn brown, man. You understand? So he said, he looked up and he said, I see men as trees, man. So that's how you know when you going into the precepts, respectively, keeping in this context, men are going to be trees. You understand? So let's go to this article, right? Let's touch on this article, man. So this is the anatomy of a tree. So let's Let's get it just in case. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it. I don't even think this is gonna go through because I got my what's the name on. But the anatomy is basically like the makeup. It's basically like the makeup, right? Let's see if I can read it. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. So boom, you have anatomy and you have physiology. We're gonna have to kind of, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna have to get in there with the so-called chemistry and the so-called biology real fast. So you have anatomy and you have physiology, basically. You understand? Anatomy is like the makeup of an organism, or anatomy is the makeup of a thing. You understand that? Because you can have like the anatomy of a building, or you can have the physiology of a building. Your anatomy of a building will be your what? Will be your engineering, and it'll be your walls, your pipes, your lines, and all that other stuff. And then your physiology would be what? Your lights, your elevators, your doors, and all that other stuff. Because you wouldn't be able to get into the anatomy of this building if you didn't have the physiology to actually know how it works. Okay, with the human body, you have anatomy and physiology. Your anatomy would be like your so-called cells, you know, the compounds of your blood type, and all that other stuff. And your physiology is what? How much you can bring, how much you can bench, how you are able to bench, right? Kinesiology, to know how your bones work, and all that other stuff, right? So this is the anatomy of a tree, meaning what is, you know what I'm saying, basically what it's made of. Okay, so let's go to A. It says the outer bark, right? So the outer bark, right here is what it's talking about, where it says bark. That's what it's talking about, right? It says the outer bark is the tree's protection from the outside world, continually renewed from within. It helps keep out moisture in the rain. It prevents the tree from losing moisture when the air is dry. It says it insinuates against cold and heat, and wards off insect enemies. You understand that? And that's spiritual. Because as a nation, we got what? We got your priests. You understand? You got your watchmen. You got your elders. And all of these men are the outside of our nation, man. You understand? They protect our walls. They protect us as a nation. They protect the inner body. You understand that? And really, this is also going into us just being one body in the Lord, man. Right? One body with many members. Right? Your pinky toe, your damn thumbnail. All one body with many members. You understand? So this outer bark, he's a protection from the outside world. Right? And what did the Lord say about the outside world? It says, let me get a precept real fast. Let's go to the book of Psalm, chapter 29. Let's go to the book of Psalm, chapter 29, man. Right? Because this outer bark is the protection from the outer world. Right? The outer bark is what you see on a daily basis. Right? Psalm chapter 29, verse 3. The voice of the Lord is upon the waters. It says the God of glory thundereth. The Lord is upon many waters. Meaning like these waters are nations, seas. You read about seas, the nations. You understand that? So right, so his voice is upon these many waters. Right, so as this outer bark, you're being a protection from the outer world, man. When the destruction is coming to our nation, you understand that? You being that outer bark, you're being renewed inwardly, right? Because your mindset is right. You're getting yourself right spiritually. So that's how you're able to be a protection in general. You understand that? That's how you're able to be a protection, because what? It says because you're continually, right? It says because you're continually renewed from within, man. Continually renewed from within. And this should be your constant mindset. Renewing your mind and renewing your spirit from within is that's probably going to be the most important breakdown that you ever learn in this truth. It's how to get your spirit right. It's how to get you, you know what I'm saying, how to get you renewed. Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to get you saved, right? Renewing your spirit. Not knowing diverse breakdowns and all the secrets of wisdom, you know what I'm saying, and repeating what other men tell you or what other women tell you, that's not going to get you saved, brother, sister. What's going to get you saved, thus saith the Lord, is continually renewing from within, man. That's what's going to get you saved. Because elsewise, you're not bearing no fruit. Or if you do bear fruit, you bearing the corruptible fruit of Esau. You know what I'm saying? These little ass grapes with all types of GMO and stuff like that in it. Right? That's what you are to the Lord. Okay? right? So this outer bank, it says it continually renewed from within. It helps keep out moisture from the rain, moisture in the rain. So when the Most High, he's casting his judgment, he got his doctrine dropping as the rain, as it tells you in Deuteronomy 32. You understand that? And when the voice of the Lord is upon the waters, the glory of it says the God of glory thundereth, right? The Lord is upon many waters. The voice of the Lord is powerful. The voice of the Lord is full of majesty. Right, let's read on. It says, the voice of the Lord breaketh the cedars. All right, so even this strong cedar that we going into now, that I'm teaching you about, that we've been talking about, these cedars, these trees, hey, the voice of the Lord, they even going to break it. So how much important is it for you to be renewing your spirit? Yea, the Lord breaketh the cedars of Lebanon. You understand that? And I had a cedar of Lebanon up here. All right, a little Lebanon cedar right there in the bottom left. All right, and you look at a Lebanon, a cedar, that kind of tree right there in the bottom left. That's what's gonna give you the most shade, man. You know what I'm saying? You kind of chill. You kind of chill under this right side right here. You know what I'm saying? You kind of chilling right here. I don't know if y'all can see my marker. Right, you kind of chill right here under this left side. That's where you want to be at, man. That's where you kick back with your feet up. You know what I'm saying? In all manner of safety and peacefulness, right? That's gonna give you that shade. But if you look at that bark, now this is the thing, right? Now look at it right above. You see Spanish cedar, right? Look at the bark of that tree. It's kind of thin. And when you go all the way up to the top of that, when you go up to the top of that Spanish cedar, it's gonna be thin throughout. But look at this Lebanon cedar. The bark of that tree is thick, it's wide, it's strong, it's rooted, it's grounded. You understand that? It's not going anywhere. You understand? It's thick all the way up into the top. Because if you look like right here, you see it's still thick even right there. You understand? Even at the top of the tree, it's still, you know what I'm saying? It's still doing its thing. It's still strong. It's still molded in. You know what I'm saying? That's the Lebanon cedar, man. All right. So let's go back to it. Let's go to the next one. So the next one is the inner bark, right, or the folium. The inner bark or the folium, right? So you have your bark right here in this picture. Your inner bark is just the inside, you know what I'm saying, basically of that bark, the folium, right? There's more stuff going on in the folium. Let's bring it up. All right, boom. The folium, it says the inner bark. So like the inner bark or folium is pipeline through which food is passed from the rest of the tree. It lives for only a short time, then dies and turns to cork to become part of the protective outer bank. Right? So, hey, through us in this truth, you might have a baby, right? You have a baby, and then like you feeding it that formula, you feeding it that milk, you feeding it that food. But guess what? That young man, he gotta go join the army of the Lord. It's not always time to be a kid in this truth, as a man or a woman. As a woman, you know what I'm saying? We was babies or whatever. We were being fed, baby fed, whatever. You come into this truth, you became as a little child, and you learned as a damn child, right? But then you grow up, it's time for you to become a grown woman. You grow up, it's time for you to become a grown man. You put on a grown man and you do the work of the Lord, and you lead your household, you guide your household. You know what I'm saying? And with the respect of things that come with that. As a grown woman, you put your grown woman dress on, your grown woman skirt on, right? And you lead your house in righteousness, man. And you lay aside all of the afflictions and the mourning and all of those other things, right? And you do what you're supposed to do for your household, right? And those things pass away. Not saying in terms of this inner bark or this folium, not saying that this is necessarily like an old man that you putting away, but it's in terms of growing up, man. It's in terms of sluggy. It's in terms of renewing your mind. It's in terms of like being a good tree, man, being a good person, right? It's in terms of bearing the good fruit that the Lord is really looking for. Cause when you a child and you coming into this truth, you only got but so much time. We only got but so much time left in this damn kingdom. You understand? So it says it lives for only a short time, then dies and returns to cork, and then it says it becomes a part of the protective outer bank. So you getting built up in the spirit, you learning and all these other things. That's all for you to become a part of the outer bank, man. Now, we understand woman is not, you know what I'm saying, watchman teaching and on the highways and byways. We understand that. But a woman holds a mighty office, right? A part of that outer bank. You understand? You there for your sisters. You bearing your sisters' infirmities and all that other stuff. You understand? You answering sisters' questions. You giving counsel, right? You know what I'm saying? All other things. And for brothers, guess what? You are part of that outer bank. You're a watchman, right? You doing what you need to do in these last days, right? And making sure your house is in order and all these other things. All right, that's how it goes, man. You getting built up, you know what I'm saying? The Lord allows you to be a child and the Lord feeds you. Right? The Lord feeds you, man. That's the book of Job, the 5th chapter. Right? The elect, they gonna eat regardless, man. That's Matthew, the 6th chapter. The birds eat and they don't even do nothing. They just fly around and eat and stay in order. Right? You look at the birds in the sky, they in the they flying in the triangle, you know what I'm saying? In army in battle array, you know what I'm saying? And they get fed, man. And that's the mercies of the Lord. You become a part of that outer bank. Right? Once you're getting built up. Let's get a precept. Let's go to the book of John, chapter 6, and verse number 11. And this video not going to be too long, but I really like this article. John, chapter 6, and verse 11. It says, in Yahushua, let's read verse 9. So it says, so you can get the context. It says, welcome to Virginia. That's folly. It says, there is a lad here which hath 5 barley loaves and 2 small fishes. Right? But what are they among so many? Verse 10, and he said, and Yahushua said, make the men sit down. And there was much grass in the place. So the men sat down in number about 5,000. And Yahushua took the loaves, and when he had given thanks, he distributed to the disciples, and the disciples to them that were sat down, and likewise of the fishes as much as they would. Verse 12, when they were filled, he said unto his disciples, gather up the fragments that remain, that nothing be lost. Let's read on. Remember, we just read about this account, and I think it was in Mark. Right? Yeah, we was in Mark, the 8th chapter. Right? We just read about this. Right? Let's read on. It says, therefore they gathered them together and filled 12 baskets with them together, and filled 12 baskets with the fragments of the 5 barley loaves, which remained over above unto them that be eaten. So when you read this account, when Yahushua was feeding these people, when Yahushua was talking to him, he asked them. He said, listen, how many we got? He said, he told him. He said, okay, how many he got? He told him. And he said, all right, bet. Man, y'all sit down and I'm going to take care of it. And what that's really going into is Yahushua providing, man. He's providing for us. Yahushua will provide for you. Right? When you down in your times, we already talked about when you at your lowest estate, that's when the Most High want to build you up. You understand? That's when the Most High want to build you up. But let's jump to verse number 46. Right? Because as men and women, we don't necessarily need food. We don't need carnal things due to the spiritual powers the little amount of spiritual powers that we have here on this earth right now, man. We don't necessarily need these carnal things and food and all that other stuff, right? Right? John chapter 6 and verse number 46. Right? Right? Salaki. John chapter 6. Salaki. What is it? Where's that verse I'm looking for? Right? 48. It says, I am that bread of life, man. Let's read 47. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me hath everlasting life. That's, you know what I'm saying, what I just said. And then verse 48 says, I am that bread of life. So that's when you believing on the Lord, you get that bread of life. You understand? So even though it says that it lives for only a short time, right? Getting built up, being a kid in the truth, you understand? It only lives for a short time. It only lives for a short time. But then guess what? It's time to understand that the Lord is the bread of life. He's going to feed you. That's when you grow up and you become a part of the outer bank. With all matter of, you know what I'm saying, boldness, strongness, defending your sisters, defending your brethren, right? Bearing bearing their infirmities, right? Because we know in Romans chapter 15, the Lord told us, hey, we got to bear the infirmities of the weak. You understand that? You become your brother's servant. You become your sister's servant when you come into this truth. But let's get this one at 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 14. Right? 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse number 14 says, Now we exhort you, brethren, warn them that are unruly, comfort the feeble-minded, support the weak, be patient toward all men. You understand that? So being patient toward all men is needed. Because when you getting built up, a part of this inner bark, you understand, a part of this folium, you got to be patient. You got to be patient in getting built up so you can become a part of that outer bark. Because what the outer bark does, it protects everything on the inside. That applies for brothers and sisters with families. That applies to, it applies to many things, spiritually and carnally. But let's move on to the cambium cell layer. Right, is the growing part of the trunk. It says it annually produces new bark and new wood. It responds to hormones that pass down through the folium with food from the leaves. Now, real quick for brothers and sisters that may not know, a hormone is basically, I think I gotta pull it up. Right, a hormone, right? A hormone is a regulatory substance produced in the organism. So it's in all organisms. All living organisms have hormones, right? It says, and transported in tissue fluids such as blood or sap. So in this case with the tree, hormones travel through the sap, right? To stimulate specific cells or tissue into action. To stimulate specific cells or tissues into action, right? So this said what? It says, it annually produces new bark and new wood in response to hormones that pass down through the folium with food from the leaves. So we were just now talking about the folium and we went into getting built up, right? Taking that small time for you to get built up, for you to become a part of that outer wall. But a part of you getting built up in that folium, you understand? A part of you getting built up in that folium was what? Was you allowing food to pass through you. Because when you first came into the truth, you was zealous. You know what I'm saying? You're bearing all kinds of fruit. You got things working out for you. It seems like it's all happy. It's fun. You understand? You catching hell, and it's not even phasing you. It's not even phasing you. Because at that time, when you spent that short amount of time getting built up, that's when you were supposed to be allowing foods to flow through you. You understand that? You're allowing foods to pass through you from the leaves, man. Right? So we always going to need each other in this truth. That's why the scriptures say two is better than one. Right? And the threefold cord is not easily broken. You understand that? So while you're getting built up and you become a part of this outer wall, you constantly renewing. You constantly bearing new fruit. You understand? You constantly burn, you know what I'm saying, new substance. You constantly doing these things. You're constantly coming up with new ideas. You're constantly coming up with new goals to reach. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't reach your last goals and now you feel content. Right? You constantly growing, man. That's the only way you really gonna make it in this truth. If that's how you become your best self. You understand? They tell you that in the world, to be your best self. But nobody in the world knows how to break it down like the Lord does. Right? Look at the anatomy of a tree and see how its confines is basically what you're gonna learn once you finish reading this article, is that's gonna build itself up from within, and then outwardly it's just gonna be natural. Because the outward bark, he don't do nothing but protect. That's all the outward bark said. All the outward bark said he does is protection from the outer damn world, basically. That's it. That's it, man. And that's all you need in these last days, because once you're built up from within and you had that protection from the outer world, that's all you need. That's all you need. You constantly renewing yourself, you're protected from the outer world, and you stand in the spirit. That's all you need, man. What the hell else do you need? You understand? Let's read on in this a cambium layer. Cambium cell layer. Right? So it says these hormones are called anxious. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Anxious, I believe. Called anxious. It says stimulate growth in cells. It says anxious are produced by leaf buds and at the end of branches as soon as they start growing in spring. So, hey, when you have a dead tree, right, if it's already grown, you know what I'm saying, it already got its bark, and then it starts growing the leaves, right? But remember, it says it gets those things, the hormones and stuff like that, it gets passed down from the leaves. So if you're growing in this truth, you have to have leaves, you have to have fruit, you have to have some type of, you know what I'm saying, evidence that you're doing something in order for you to eat, in order for you to grow. And that's confidence for yourself right there, right? If the Most High has allowed you to see an increase, And the Most High allowed you to see an increase. That means what? When you came into this truth, that means you was doing something right, brother, sister. You was doing something right. Because what? It was allowed to feed your inner self, right? And that's scriptural. The Lord said what? You should know men by their fruits, right? The Lord gives the increase. Apollos have watered, right? So I have watered, Apollos have planted, and guess what? But the Most High gave the increase, man. You understand? That's what that's going into. Starting in the spring, let's go down to the sapwood, right? So what we just read was a cabium, right? That's right under the outer and inward bark. You understand that? And now we're gonna go to the sapwood. Because if you ever seen like the end, like if you ever like seen like a chopped tree, it looks just like this. It has layers and stuff like that with a red inside. It's kind of beautiful type thing, right? But let's go into the sapwood. It's like one of the first rings, right? All right, let's go into the sapwood, right? Your sapwood is the tree's pipeline for water moving up to the leaves. So you need this sap line for you to continue to bear fruit, right? So this sap line is just substance. It's just substance in this truth. Once you come into the truth, you hold on to it. You come into this truth, you realize it's not a damn phase. You come into this truth, you realize there ain't no damn loopholes, man. Ain't no loopholes, because it's not just a lifestyle just because it seems cool. You kind of got a couple 100,000 followers on social media, and yeah, this is the way. This is seeming cool. But yeah, people waking up, something about to happen damn next week. You understand? It's not a phase. It's not a trend. Your sapwood is your substance, man. Right? It's your inner. Cause listen, bro. As we get closer and closer, it gets more spiritual. As we get closer and closer, it gets more spiritual. Why? Because your inward man is supposed to be spiritual. Let's get my favorite precept, man. Let's get my favorite precept. I'm about to be known for bringing this precept out. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Romans chapter 2 and verse number 28. It said, for he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly, neither is that circumcision, which is outwardly in the flesh. But he is a Jew, which is one inwardly. Which is one inwardly, which is sapwood, which is inner bark, which is cabium cell wall. You understand that? Which is one inwardly. Sapwood, your inward man. Okay? It says, but he is a Jew, which is one inwardly, and circumcision is not of the heart. It says, in the spirit, and not in letter, whose praise is not of men, but of God, man. So as we get closer and closer to the inward part of this bark, it's getting more spiritual. Why? Because your inward man is supposed to be spiritual, man. That's how it goes. That's the only way you're going to be saved in these last days. That's the only way you're going to continue to grow in the truth. But let's go on about the sapwood, which is your substance. Your substance is your truth, is your knowledge of the precepts, but also what? Your wisdom of the precepts. And your wisdom of the precepts is the application. You might read a precept that say, okay, yeah, I am the bread of life. That's all he said. He said, I'm the bread of life. Right? And Salakia, he said, I'm the bread of life. That's all he said, man. You understand? But what does that mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's talking about what? That's talking about the priesthood and the Levitical law. That's talking about spiritually with your faith. That's talking about physically, damn fasting and praying. Yahweh Shai is that bread of life. It's talking about your substance, man. Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is your substance, man. Right? Let's read on about this sapwood. Right? You can break this down so many ways. So many precepts you can go to. You understand? It says sapwood is the tree's pipeline for water moving up to the leaves. Right? So you need this to feed your fruit. You need your substance to continue to have your leaves on your tree. Your leaves is your good work, your praying, your alms, your fasting, and all these other things. Right? Sapwood is a new wood. As newer rings of sapwood are laid down, inner cells lose their vitality and turn to heartwood. Now, what does it mean? It's a new wood. That doesn't mean it's just newly created. Meaning what? You were constantly renewing yourself. You were constantly, annually, right, producing new bark, producing new wood, right? All right. This whole article has been talking about that, how it constantly produces new things, right? A tree is a living organism, man. It's constantly active. It stays active in the truth. It stays active in the church. It stays active in the body, man. Not being damn complacent. Being complacent is, you know what I'm saying, you just got the same thing going on. You've been talking about losing that little bit of weight for years now. Years you've been talking about losing that damn weight. You ain't did jack squat, man. You need to jack squat. Why? Because you're complacent. Because your tree is not bearing any fruit. Or you might have fruit on the outwardly level, but guess what? Your sapwood, your inward substance, it can't feed your leaves. It can't feed your leaves. Your sapwood can't feed your leaves. Because your substance. You understand? That's how this thing goes, man. That's how this thing goes. Right? Let's jump down. Let's go to heartwood. Heartwood is the central supporting pillar of the tree. It says, although dead, it will not decay. Slakia. Right? Slakia. It says, although dead. Right? It says, although dead, it will not decay or lose strength while the outer layers are intact. A composite of hollow, the outer layers are intact. A composite of hollow, a neat-like cellulose, right? Fibers bound together by a chemical glue called lightning. You know, they're kind of going off, but all right. Lightning, it is in many ways as strong as steel. It says a piece 12 inches long, 1 by 2 inches in cross section, set vertically can support a weight of 20 tons. You understand that? They kind of dropped the gem at the last sentence, right? Drop the gem at the last sentence. It says it can support a weight of 20 tons. And that 20 tons is what? That affliction that you're going through. You've been catching hell since you were 4 years old, man. Since you came out the damn womb, you've been catching hell. And then you come into this truth, and it's double. It's double, man. It's double, man. But guess what? Your inward man, your sapwood, your heartwood. And I know it says it's dead, right? But in context to breaking this down spiritually, does that mean your heart is dead? Does that mean your inward man is dead? No. Because guess what? The Lord said what? Let's get that. We already in Romans. Let's stay here. Boom. Romans chapter 6, verse 1. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? God forbid. How shall we that are dead to sin, live any longer therein? So guess what? Even though it says his heartwood is dead, that don't mean your heart is just dead. You're not producing no damn blood through your body. Or that don't mean the heartwood of this tree. That don't mean the heartwood of this tree is not really doing anything. No. That mean the heartwood of this tree, once you get to the inward man, once you get to the person who you really are, in the world, they say, hey, you show your true colors. Once you show your true colors, hey, guess what? It's over with now. You thought when I showed my true colors, you was going to see something, you know what I'm saying, you wasn't supposed to. Oh, I started showing my true colors, you was going to see, you know what I'm saying? No, man. You get to showing your true colors on your inward man, hey, guess what? It's no guile. You're blameless. You're defaultless, man. You understand that? If that's how they even the word, right? The heartwood is dead, but that just means, guess what? His mind is fixated, right? Her mind is not moving. Her mind is not moved. You're not fazed by the world. You're setting your goals. You're achieving your goals. You're doing what you need to do, right? Slucky. You're doing what you need to do. Okay? Meaning what? You're growing in this truth. You're constantly bearing fruit. You're feeding your leaves. All right, constantly renewing your mind and being a good person, constantly having that great moral status. You understand that? That's what that's going into, man. That heartwood is dead. That don't mean it ain't alive, man. That just mean it's what? It's dead to sin, right? Your inward man is dead to sin. Certain things, it's just a no-go. They know not even to come to you with it, right? All right, let's finish this off. It says, leaves make food for the tree, and this tells us, right? Leaves make food for the tree. It says, and this tells us much about their shapes. For example, the narrow needles of a Douglas fir can expose as much as the three. All right, that's enough on that, right? But the point is, leaves make food for the tree, man. So boom, you come into this truth. When you learning, you a child, you coming in. Listen, you have to be taken in that substance. You have to become as a child to enter to the kingdom of God. You taking in that substance, and you putting it towards your fruit. You putting it towards your leaves. Then you grow a little bit. Hey, don't ever neglect those lessons that you learned. Don't ever neglect that zeal that you had, and just look at it like you was crazy, man. No, that thing was important. That zeal that you had should be confounding you now because you don't have it no more, man. It should be confounding you. You don't have it no more. And that should let you know how much of a spiritual thing it was and where you can be in this truth. If you do what? You come down to that KBM cell layer. And you do what? You constantly feeding your leaves, right? Because you get closer to the inward man and you understanding what it's really supposed to be. You understand that? You start feeding your leaves, right? But guess what? That don't even last long as damn self, right? It don't last long as damn self because it's too busy feeding the leaves. Then you come down to your sapwood and you understand, hey, my inward man has got to be righteous. My thought process has got to change. My actions has got to change. I got to change. And become my substance, my sapwood, gotta become new every damn day. You understand that? New and renewed, stronger and stronger. Okay? And then you come down to your heartwood, you have the understanding to where as though you have a certain amount of wisdom. Right? Through the mercies of the Lord, not of your own works, that guess what? Your substance, it can't be moved away. You understand that? And Lord willing, that made sense. You know what I'm saying? Lord willing, brothers and sisters was edified. And you got an understanding of what's going on. But with that, Atazawan Shalom, Yasha Allah, Ahabatam